visiting NC State. The game will be at noon Eastern Time and on the ACC Network. Coach, thank you for joining us on our call this morning. If you just give us your thoughts on how your preseason has gone as you head into the season opener at NC State, please.
Well, first off, thanks for having me on. It's exciting times around here in Greenville, and it's back to where we were last spring when we last did a teleconference. I think that the players have worked extremely hard over the summer and throughout preseason camp. We've seen significant improvement, and the biggest thing, we had practice late yesterday afternoon, and certainly there was an energetic buzz around practice with it finally being game week. So you spend all year getting ready for these 12, hopefully more than that, but 12 opportunities that we're guaranteed this fall. And, we're excited about the first one in a big matchup against NC State.
We'll take questions for Coach Houston. Please, star 1 on your telephone keypad will put you in the queue, and the operator will introduce you.
And we will hear from Dan Tortora with wakeupcalldt.com. Please go ahead.
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing well. Just as you step into, this first season with ECU, just what you can say about what you've seen through camp with the guys and just an overall sense of this team as you get set to run out on the field for the first time in purple as you step forward.
Well, I think that everyone here is committed to and hungry to get things corrected. As you talk to the players, as we went through the past, 8.5 months or so, they're not happy with the results the past several years, and that's not why they came to East Carolina. It's not what this program has been, and so, they're all very motivated to get things going in the right direction. And I think that's been evidenced by their attitudes and, the way that they have tried to do what we have coached them to do. I think that we are coming in, you're completely changing the culture from the way you operate to the way you practice to the identity that our team is going to have. And so there is lots of pretty drastic changes going on across the board. So we're probably not the finished product yet, but we are vastly improved from where we were last December.
And then as far as, positionally, just maybe some of those battles that you had in fall camp that have, kind of figured their way out, maybe some leadership that stepped up. I know it's hard to see without games being played yet, but just some of those leaders maybe that you're taking in that from the beginning of camp to now maybe impressed you, stood out to you, or separated themselves at some point.
Well, I think you just touched on the big thing is, we haven't played anybody but ourselves yet, so we'll find out a whole lot more starting next Saturday. But, I'm pleased with the quarterback competition. I thought that Holton and Reed both, competed very, very well against each other, and Holton ended up being named the starter. And, he has, all the intangibles to be the leader that you want at that position. So I think that's the one that really stands out there on offense. I think Darius Penix has done an equally solid job there at the running back position. And then I think, offensive line-wise, Deontay Smith and Cortez Heron, the returning starters there, have provided, some stability there with that group as we bring, the rest of the O-line along. Blake Proles had a really solid preseason camp. Mydrian Vines has had a solid preseason camp. Ferrier's playing well. You look on the defensive side of the football, I think Alex Turner has been, the constant, steady leadership guy right there. But I've been pleased with Kendall Futrell and the way he's come along. It's been great to have Bruce Bivens, back in the lineup after missing the spring. And so, I just think you've got a lot of guys that are showing leadership with not only, vocally, but the way that they play. And, leadership, your words and your actions have to match up. And so it's been good to see that on the practice field.
Thank you, Coach, and good luck this week.
Thanks a lot.
Our next question will be from Ronnie Woodward from the Greenville Daily Reflector. Please go ahead.
Hey, Mike. If I remember this correctly, I was just thinking that your last playoff game at James Madison kicked off about the same time as ECU versus NC State. I know you talked about the film and stuff, obviously, last week of the state game, but what was if you remember that day, what was maybe your initial reaction to when you saw the NC State ECU score on your phone or somebody told you? When you first saw that score, what was kind of your first thought without looking at the film and knowing all the details?
Well, it was after our game was over. We were on the trip back, and of course, I knew that I would be meeting with John Gilbert and Dave Hart the next morning. And so, seeing the score, you kind of, it shocks you pretty good. That's a non-competitive outcome. And so it probably painted a true picture of what I was, getting ready to discuss, becoming a part of. So it's definitely not a bright spot, but I think it kind of gives us a starting point for where we were when I was hired on December 3rd. And so, like I said, that's ground zero, as far as the program under our leadership, and we've made drastic improvements since that day.
Okay. And just to sneak this in for tomorrow, do you plan on releasing a depth chart, a full depth chart tomorrow?
Yes, we will.
Okay. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Sure thing.
And next we'll hear from Tom Shanahan with the News and Observer.
Hi, Coach. The quarterback competition, I wonder if you could talk, it was good for Reed Herring, but I was wondering if you could also talk about how it pushed Holton rather than anointing Holton the starter going into the spring or even in the fall, that, he had to earn the job.
Well, I think that's exactly it. And that's, I was very pleased the way Reed approached the whole thing, and Holton as well. And both of them improved because of the push that they got from the other. And I think you have to have that. If you didn't have that competition, during the off season, during preseason camp, then neither one of them would have been able to perform at the level that they performed. So I think that's something that's healthy. I think that it's something that's good for our program, and you've got to have multiple guys ready at every position, and that one obviously is a critical one. So I'm excited to have Reed in the program, and we have confidence in him, and then Holton will obviously be the one to take the first snaps next Saturday.
Okay, and then the other question I wanted to ask you, and I don't mean to sound like I'm putting you on the defensive, because the university did a real good job of responding to that Trump rally, but I wondered if you felt any need to talk to your players or any recruits' parents, anything like that.
I lost you with that music that cut in the middle of your question. What was the middle of it?
Just as the university did a good job of responding. I'm not asking you to do that.
Right.
I was wondering if you felt a need to talk to any of your players or even recruits' parents, and ease any concerns.
No, I mean the thing is, control what you can control, and in today's society, in today's world, I may not have control over outside voices and outside people and how they choose to conduct their lives or views that they express, but I have firm control over my own decisions, the values that I have, and the things that I discuss with our team. And I'm pleased with the culture that we have in our program. Obviously that we're not perfect by any means, but we do try to treat everyone with respect. We do try to conduct ourselves in a first-class manner.
Great. Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
And we have time for one more for Coach Houston, please.
And our final question will be from Stephen Ego with 24/7 Sports. Please go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Just got one question for you. I know there's been a lot of battle on the right side of the offensive line. Have you guys decided on any starters there, or is that something you kind of see carrying into the season as far as the competition there?
Well, I mean, I think that we've kind of narrowed down the group there of who's still competing for those positions on that right side, but I think that's definitely something that will probably be ongoing during the early part of the season. I think that it's until we kind of see guys out there against somebody else and see how they're going to respond on game day. I think there's going to be an open competition where you'll probably see multiple guys play throughout the game Saturday.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Coach, thanks so much for your time this morning. Look forward to hearing from you.